Location, location, location. Where you live, be it during your professional years or be it during your retirement years, is going to be the single most important financial decision you'll ever make. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the concept of VH call, H call, M call, L call cities, what it means, the comparison, and what does it do to your journey to financial independence. Before I do that, a quick introduction about myself. So my name is Yogi, and my wife Seema and I, we both achieved financial independence and retired early before the age of 50, and that is what brings us all our travels to this beautiful winery here in the Napa Valley. We just tried a few glasses of wine, so forgive me if I have any slurring during my speech right now. Anyways, back to the topic. So what is this VH call, H call, M call, and L call cities, and what do I mean by that? Before I define that, a quick definition of call, C-O-L, that is cost of living. Cost of living. What influences cost of living? Cost of living is typically determined by your lifestyle, the number of people in your family, your age, your health, and the place or the city that you live in, because that has a very big impact on your cost of living. And that's why there is this definition called VH call, which is very high cost of living cities, H call, that is high cost of living cities, M call, medium cost of living cities, and L call, that is the low cost of living cities. Some examples of VH call living cities, these are the cities that worldwide are renowned for being super expensive. For example, Tokyo, Singapore, Hong Kong in Asia, London, Zurich, probably in Europe, New York, LA, San Francisco in the US. So these are, I would say, typically very high cost of living cities, no matter which part of the world you are from. The high cost of living cities, the medium cost of living city, and the I'll call the low cost of living cities are typically determined by the country that you are in. So for example, if you are in India, then Mumbai and Bangalore would probably be high cost of living cities. In the US, I guess Chicago would be one of those high cost of living cities. Asia, probably Sydney, Melbourne, they'll be high cost of living cities in Asia Pacific. Medium cost of living cities, again, determined by the country that you're living in. So India, I would say probably Hyderabad, I guess so. The tier 2 cities would probably come into those medium cost of living cities. Similarly, the L call, these are the cities that, based on the country that you are in, there could be tier 3 cities. So in the US, I guess probably some city in Alabama or Mississippi, they will be categorized there. So in summary, for the definition, very high cost of living cities, they are generally worldwide, doesn't matter where you are, they are super expensive. High cost, medium cost, and low cost depends on the country, and within the country, you could have those categories. Now, what are the factors that differentiate the cost of living in each city? The big factor is the real estate, the rentals. So in a very high cost of living city, it'll be a significant part of your total savings and your total, let's say, expenses. The second factor in these big cost of living cities is the spending that you do towards education and your lifestyle, because depending on the nature. So for example, San Francisco or Tokyo would have much more expenses than the other cities, let's say, which are in Mississippi or Alabama, or probably in Fukuoka in Japan for that matter. The third aspect is taxes. Most of the times, the cities which are very high cost of living versus the low cost of living, the high cost of living cities will have a higher tax rate. So in the US, San Francisco, New York, they would have a much higher tax rate than probably a city in Kansas. Similarly, that happens in Asia also. There are some exceptions. So, for example, Hong Kong, Singapore, Dubai, they have a lower tax rate, but then you're paying indirect tax in terms of the expenses of the real estate or the lifestyle, and the education for children, that they are super high in these cities. But those are, I would say, the exceptions as such. So overall, and sorry, a very important point is salary. Typically, a very high cost of living city or a high cost of living city, you would expect a much more salary than what you would expect in, let's say, a low cost of living city. Also, the opportunities, so the job opportunities or career growth opportunities in a very high cost of living city would be, as expected, a lot more than probably somewhere that's a tier 3 city of a country. Now, you may say, hey, I know these factors, but how do I use it towards my advantage? So ideal scenario would be that you are earning the salary of a very high cost of living city, and you're actually living in a low cost of living city. So salary of a VH call and living in an L call. It's difficult to achieve that, but probably during COVID, a lot more remote working has enabled a few people to do that. But a more popular approach and strategy is that you probably start and you enable your career growth in a VH call or a H call or a high cost of living city, and then you retire in a low cost of living city. So if you take Seema and my example, we both lived in Amsterdam, we lived in Luxembourg, in Tokyo, in I would say in Singapore. So all the BH call or the H call living cities, we used the time over there to increase our career opportunities, increase our saving potential, but then we ended up, and we are going to end up, using our retirement years in a low cost of living city in Asia, in a country like Thailand, with a similar quality of life. So that's, I would say, the popular strategy that you have to choose, and you have to use it to make it work for you. What many people end up doing on the other end of the spectrum is they end up living in a high cost of living city or a very high cost of living city, the VH call or H call city, and they end up with a, let's say, M call or L call salary. So what it does is that it lets you have very little savings over a period of time, and it doesn't help you build wealth while you are having a lifestyle that is sucking most of your, let's say, savings into sustaining life, for that matter. So that is the thing that you have to be careful about, that you're not ending up there. Yes, when you're starting your career, there is no way out many times than starting your career because of the opportunities available in a VH call or a H call, and using that opportunity. But you have to reflect and see that being in those cities, is it enabling your savings potential? Is it enabling your savings potential to go exponentially over a period of time, rather than a very small, gradual increase? As I keep mentioning in the other videos, keep in mind, salary is for vanity. It is savings that is for sanity. So it is always important to see that how is your savings growing in a place. Because in a VH call or an H call, your salary may grow, but then your expenses, because of the cost of education, health, taxes, the real estate, everything may probably drag you down. So that's the point when you have to reflect and say that, look, how can I make it work that I'm changing my profession or my location in a way that it increases my savings over time, so that it increases my journey to financial independence. Because what you don't want is that you're living in a city that takes your retirement till the late 60s or early 70s, while you're not getting that work-life balance, even because of the travel, because of the bustle and the busyness and the lifestyle that a city takes from you. So have a dispassionate look at the place that you're living in and ask yourself, question number one, that is this city giving me the right opportunities over a period of time, that it is enabling me to grow my savings exponentially and not just probably my career or salary exponentially. The second question you need to ask yourself is that, look, even if I'm living in this city, is the foundation that I'm laying here, can I cash out and can I use that foundations towards savings to move towards a city that can probably enable or accelerate my financial independence and probably even retiring early possibilities, like what we've done, Seema and I, that we've moved from a high call city to a low call city, are moving towards that, and that is enabling us to accelerate our financial independence. The third question you need to ask yourself is that, am I funding the city with my hard-earned earnings? This could be through taxes. This could be through the I would say indirect taxes in terms of the cost of the land, the real estate, the rentals, etc. That am I funding that just for that? So those are the things that are important to balance out. But believe me, when you have that evaluation, it can help you accelerate that journey to financial independence. And Seema and I, we both are good examples, because what I'm telling you is what we are doing. Over a period of time, as I mentioned in the video, that we've used the high cost or even very high cost of living cities to our advantage. But right now, we're also using that advantage to have that dispassionate look of relocating to the countries that we can. And yes, you may ask that, look, I have children, I have the education. So that is the other thing that you have to see, that do the other cities offer the similar level of education, the quality of life, and what are those cities for that matter? So this is just a quick video of a reminder towards how the place that you live in can have a big impact towards your financial journey as well as your financial independence, and it's worth evaluating. As always, please request you to subscribe and like the video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Until then, a goodbye from this lovely vineyard, and cheers with probably a virtual glass of wine. Bye-bye.